Hello, everybody, and welcome to. I'm Eric Allen. I'm here with Joe Drilling.
Uh-huh.
It's why everybody just does the same
It's
intro
like
on
Kermit
every.
the Frog had a stroke.
Yeah, it's why everybody just does the same intro on their YouTube videos. Hey guys, what's up? I'm whatever the fuck, because
Yeah.
it's hard to come up with something different every time. I'm here
You're
with Joe
Eric
Drilling.
Allen,
I
pro
said my name.
skateboarder. Yeah, I'm Joe Drilling, pro BMXer, and with us is Kurt Adam, pro surfer.
Together, we are most of California games.
That's right.
Who's the pro hacky sacker?
Obviously, I think Anthony has to be the pro hacky sacker.
I don't think
He
the
just
hacky
plays-
sack's not in the
he
NES
just really
version
plays
of
with
this
his
game.
hacky
Is
sack.
it?
Is-
I think
is
that
The
what
hacky
it
sack is definitely in the NES
Is
version of
it?
this game.
I know
Yes.
that's the only one that I played, but
That's the one I played the most often, yeah. And I thought this was one I couldn't remember now that I'm making you play it. I don't think this is the one of the ones that has different events. Like the different ports of summer games and winter games have, some of them have different events on the different platforms. But I think California Games is always the same, you know,
set of events.
yeah, surfing, BMX, roller skating, hacky sack, skateboarding. I think that's it, right?
Some of those I don't think are in the Lynx version.
Oh, that's right. There's a Lynx version.
Hmm.
And then there was a
Surfing
Summer
definitely
Games
is, because that's
2.
probably the one I did the most.
Yeah, you had a Lynx back in the day, right?
I did. I still do.
Let's
my
see
basement.
here.
Are we on YouTube or on Twitch?
We're on YouTube.
YouTube.
It doesn't seem to show anything
I see it.
happening.
I see it.
That's it. I hope so.
I see Eric moving, but the Sega logo is.
I had
not
to
moving
redefine my
very much.
controller because it wasn't working.
Okay.
Although it looks like maybe it's still not working. Oh no,
There
now
it
it's
is.
working. Okay.
Let's see. The Lynx. Oh, that's the Amiga,
I just
Amstrad, Apple II.
Tuned
Atari.
in to see Eric wiggling his head back and forth, so my life is good now.
I want to start over here. Hang on a second. Let's reset this shit.
The Atari 2600 version appears to be lacking the roller skating game, from what I can see.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, there's a frisbee. Frisbee is one. It is the other one. I forgot where you throw the
Frisbee.
frisbee and then you have to run and catch it. But it seems like they're all pretty much the same.
According
across
to the
most
Wikipedia,
versions.
that is known as flying disc.
Flying disc, yes.
And
Should I compete
hacky
in
sack
all
is
events? Some
foot
events?
bag.
You should compete in all events.
Okay.
Lynx version appears to just have BMX, surfing, half pipe, and foot bag.
Yeah.
Not hacky sack, foot
Bag. Yeah, exactly.
Because hacky sack is a registered trademark of Hacky Sack Inc. or whatever, whatever
Right.
the thing is.
It's a trademark of the hack and sack good time delivery
I fucking
service.
killed it.
In the same way that Sega was not originally
I don't know how to do
what
anything.
it was. I mean, in
Would you like
general,
me to
or
look
are you
up,
talking about in this game?
Would you like me to look up a manual scan or FAQ to give you the controls?
Maybe. Yeah. Nothing seems to be doing anything. Although I did wipe out on the last one.
I noticed that.
I recall.
Technical crash. I'm still on my feet. Fucking
I
nailed
recall this just not being super easy to play right off the bat.
The NES version is definitely the one I played the most, but I have played the Genesis version, I think.
it. This was I rented it once and then never touched it again because
So you're like, woof.
this
'Cause
game's
it was a
not that
little
great.
obtuse. Well, let's see. There's an FAQ for the NES version on GameFAQs.
There
You
is.
need skateboarding controls for that, and then I'll see if like Sega 16 or Sega Retro have a scan of the manual. Skating. You can't put skating. It has to be skateboarding or roller skating because both of those things exist in this game. This is a bad FAQ.
Yes.
Points, strategies, final word, BMX, skating.
So up and down moves the skater, up and down,
Surfing.
left and right. Left forces the skater into his spin.
I hate this
right
stupid fucking
does not
footbag.
do anything.
I'm gonna fucking break it so no one can play footbag.
Oh, footbag is a pain in the ass.
Footbag was one of my. I like the footbag.
I mean, it's
events.
literally just
I-
a timing mini game.
I think I just
Right.
played the most that I played was surfing.
I
I
played the BMX a lot
I
too.
could get
'cause in
that
the NES
clock.
version, it would say like righteous when you like landed a trick and stuff
Nice.
on the BMX.
You know, one of these kinds of games that I like. There's a Tiny Toons Olympics one that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Caveman Games is actually not so bad.
Caveman Games.
Yeah, the NES support of Caveman Games is pretty decent.
I got one. I didn't get any half axles or axle Foleys or.
A goofy-footed stalefish.
Surfing.
Boom, boom, boom.
How do I surf?
You didn't get a headbanger.
Nope. I could do it on
Dota or reverse Dota.
reverse Dota.
Yeah.
Reverse Dota.
It's like it
auto
was
chess.
auto chess before it happened. Exactly.
We should stream auto chess tonight.
Should we?
I'm pretty good at that game now.
You're automatically chessed.
Damn it.
Chessed.
Is there like a way to... Alright, how do I surf?
I'm working on it.
You pretty much move left or right and follow the excuse me. Follow
like
the wave and then try and hook up into the air and do tricks.
I'm supposed to be doing tricks.
Yeah.
So, I feel like
you go up the wave and come off of it at the top, and then
I feel like I'm not sure how to
stuff.
like get speed up to get far enough in front of the wave to get up in the air.
As I recall,
Is there like an ollie
it's only been
button?
like 15 years since I've played this game. I recall that you basically going straight like you're doing is
I'm
the
surprised
slowest
it's
possible
that
thing.
recent.
You kind of gotta, yeah.
Well, I was going up
Yeah.
and down and I was dying even faster. So
Yeah. Well, you gotta kind of loop the face of the wave back and forth for a while, and then you can shoot up in the air.
it's just.
But you can't go too far under the wave
I
either.
keep getting eaten by the wave, and then when I hit the top, I fall off the surfboard.
Let's see. Physical scans. Cart.
Oh,
Manual.
maybe I need to be closer to the bottom. Looked like I was picking up some speed down there.
That sounds like maybe that's
Fuck
true.
it, I'm going back to the beach. Out.
Well, unfortunately,
Oh,
the
there you
only
go,
version of the manual that Sega Retro has archived is the French manual. So if Mike was here, he might be able to help us out.
I feel like this was my experience playing this game when I was like 10 or whatever.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to come down behind the wave.
I got 2.2 points.
It's pretty good.
I mean, I'm going to assume that it's out of 3, so
Yeah, that's right.
got most of the way there.
Instead of 2.3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I nailed it.
If it wasn't for that Russian judge.
I feel like I confused the
You'd have a perfect
surfing in
2.3.
this game with the surfing in TNC Surf Design.
Okay, so I alternate up and down to skate or something. See, like, the controls in this don't make any fucking sense. I have to alternate up and down to get up speed. And then, okay, here we go.
And then you fall in an ice cream cone.
Like you do when you're roller skating. I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, okay, the sand knocked me down, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's like the up and... See, I don't know why up and down doesn't make any sense.
I think it's supposed to be like you're pushing your foot.
Yeah, but
You know,
why isn't it left and right then?
Well, because you're looking at her from the side, so.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
You're pushing your left foot up the screen and you're pushing your right foot down the screen.
Yeah, but when you roller skate, you don't stomp your foot up and down. You slide your feet back and forth on the edge of the wheels.
You slide them in and out.
And out, and in and out.
Right,
and out,
left
and
and
out.
right.
Snarkcaster.
Left and right, not up and fucking down. If you pick your feet up when you're roller skating, you never get any speed. That's not how you roller skate. You push in and out. So you would push left and right on the controller. This is what I'm saying.
I understood what you were saying the first time you started ranting about it.
All right, how do I pedal my bike?
Productions says controls don't make much sense. Well, that's all of Epyx's game series had controls that made no sense. Exhibit A: figure skating in world games.
Yeah.
And I say this is a player of all the C64 games.
Yeah, C64. Most C64 joysticks only supported one, or games supported one button. So it was kind of a disaster. I don't know. I always kind of had a soft spot for the Epyx games.
Is that just because you had less access to games?
I mean, that's
So
probably
like
part of it.
Stockholm syndrome, unfortunately.
I don't know. I mean, we had a rental store near us that, I rented games all the time. I don't know. Something about
I mean, why
the
play,
NES
why
version
play
of...
this versus Excite Bike?
Because this game has more things
Oh.
than just Excite Bike in it.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It does,
Is there a way
so
to
it does
pick up?
like
is
6
there,
different things poorly
yes, exactly.
versus one well.
This was very
Pretty
exciting
much.
back then. So what is there? Is there a
game is really
button to
impressive
make me go
compared to-
faster here, or is there just this jump button?
I don't, dude. The manual's in French. Get Mike on the call, and I'll send him the link, and he can help us out. But
You could send me the link. I can try and puzzle it out. But
Can you look up
Alright,
the
well,
Super
whatever.
Nintendo controls? It may be analogous.
I mean, it might be, but that seems potentially like a stretch.
I mean, it has a D-pad and some buttons.
Okay, Kurt, I'm dropping the link to the French manual for.
Awesome.
So there you go. Good luck.
Up and down moves the bike. Up and down. Left pulls a wheelie. Right doesn't do anything until in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Select causes a bike to brake. This is the NES.
There's no select button on
Yeah.
a Genesis controller. so-
Pedals, a pedal. So one button pedals and one button jumps. Okay. Let me see. What
Snarkcast
where's
says,
the
"Wait,
pedal?
did this come out for the Super NES? I thought only California Games 2 did.
Oh.
I believe only the second one came out on the Super."
Okay, so
Radical, bad and aggressive. Yeah, great.
all right, so it looks like the C button. If you tap it, you accelerate, or if you hold it, you accelerate.
Nom de jeu. Did you put in your nom de jeu?
Yeah, it's this
Skateboard.
game sucks.
Strategies.
Okay.
Foot sack.
All right, so if you tap C
Surf.
button and then push B to jump, but it's like then you're jumping.
I think when
because-
you go over the bumps, like the humps, you can get more air and do like backflips and shit, and you get points.
Oh
for
my
that.
god. I guess VMX is VTT. Alright. A, B,
Is
or
there a
C
trick button?
to start.
I didn't know you spoke French, Kurt.
I took like 6 years of French in junior and high school.
Huh.
But
Some
it's
nice
been
audio
like a million years
panning
since I
on the-
used
the-
any of it.
There's some decent audio panning going on in the drums here, but
Some developers
Rub
loved that
the
stereo
left.
capability that Genesis had. I like you hit like a bump and you just go sailing over the handlebars. Like, as someone who's wiped out on their bike more than his fair share of times, like that doesn't happen.
Rear. Okay, so that.
there's just so little
think
space
those are-
between
those are
obstacles in the
vectors.
skating minigame that it's hard to get any speed, and it just feels bad.
It feels better than the figure skating game in the NES version. As well, Snarkcast didn't say specifically the NES version, but
Oh, somebody threw a fucking beach ball at me.
2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the end.
I don't know. I kind of like, for some reason, these games sort of kind of struck a chord. I also liked the Track and Field and Track and Field 2 from Konami. Those are better games than this.
Yeah,
Those
those
are
are
better games.
Yeah.
But they're still not great. Like Track and Field 1 is literally like beat the shit out of the buttons as fast.
Oh, yeah.
as- who's got the fastest weasel
She's
fingers?
got a
Or,
little
like,
butt
my
crack
cousin-
when you spin around. That's kind of fun.
My cousins used to use a highlighter and like roll it back and forth between the A and B button in Track
Yeah,
and
I
Field.
do.
These
Many
fucking
years
beach
after
balls,
playing
man.
it, people said, "Oh yeah, you just use a
Those beach
ruler."
balls are bullshit.
See what I'm saying?
hmm
Wow, that is bullshit.
I always regarded using a marker or a pen
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever
cheating.
as cheating. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cheating.
There was in Japan. There was a hyper sports or track and field controller specifically, and it was literally just like a button. Like it was the controller with no D-pad or anything. Just had a big ass button. They make it easier to hit the button, I guess. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
All right, help me surf.
Okay.
Charlie, don't surf.
Charlie, don't surf.
Okay, let's see here.
Left to put the things left and right to go right. At the same time, as you touch D. D is the D-pad, I guess.
No, you touch your
Touch
D.
D, I guess, is the D-pad.
Uh-huh.
So it's saying if you push the C button at the same time as you do the D-pad
Mm-hmm.
to mid to ralentier.
So yeah, it was called the Konami Hypershot, and I'm gonna throw a link to this image in both chats so that people who are listening can see. But it's just this completely it's literally a blue box with 2 red buttons on it. And that's it.
Wow.
There you go.
And
it's like
why would you want to slow down?
It's like the paddle controller on the 2600 where there's one wire that splits into 2 for 2 controllers, so you can play 2 players. And that's actually there's the Up Down Arcade in Milwaukee has a tabletop track and field game, and that's pretty much exactly what the arcade controls are like. When they're that big, though, you can slap the shit out of them. You know, you don't have to weasel finger them. You can just like drum on them.
There has to be a trick to this.
See, I started saying a couple times. I feel like I confuse the surfing in this with the surfing in TNC Surf Design.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Wood and water.
I did
rampage.
it. I got a little bit of air and then I crashed because I don't know how to land. So it's like a lot of wiggling. You gotta wiggle a bunch.
Yeah, I think you gotta.
It's not like a natural smooth motion. It's like a constant waggle.
I want to say you gotta really.
They're
work
throwing
the
beach balls at
face.
me again, guys.
Yeah, they hit them.
Who is out in the
They're
ocean
just like
throwing
floating
beach
up,
balls
they're
at
floating
you?
up the fucking wave. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Jesus Christ.
Also, I like the idea that like if a beach ball hit a person who was surfing,
If I was trying to
down.
surf and I got hit by a beach ball, you know I'd be in the fucking
You would
water.
fall in, yeah. Also, if you didn't get hit by a beach ball.
All right, I figured out how to go faster.
Surfing is really hard. I had fun with it, but it's super hard, and I didn't like have enough time to really
Is it so
learn
hard?
how to do much. So hard. I didn't really have the chance to do much more than like learn how to stand up and ride a wave. It's also like you're exhausted.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
I once
Sure.
tried to water ski,
used
and
to
I
be
got up
pretty
for
good at
about 3 seconds.
I used to be pretty good at water skiing because I had cousins who lived in Minnesota and they had a house on a lake, and so every
Nice.
summer we'd go visit, and I'd
Yeah.
go water skiing, and I got pretty. I mean, I couldn't like my cousins could like do flips off the wake and stuff, but I
Right.
could never. I could
You had
never
a lot more
manage
time
that.
in than you did, right? So
Yeah,
How
but
did I land that jump?
nobody knows, man. Nobody knows. But I was always better at kneeboarding than water skiing, which is sort of similar concept, except you have the board strapped to your legs, and you kneel on it, obviously, hence kneeboarding strapped to your legs.
yeah.
I mean, I was better at that, but it's the
As
same.
far as I
idea.
can tell, based on this manual, there is no button.
There's
to
no
do
button
it.
for surfing.
There's no button. Yeah. No. If you do stuff with C, you will slow down, which is the exact opposite.
Okay,
of
I
what
figured out how
you're
to go
trying to do.
fast. I couldn't figure out how
Yeah.
to do much other than
I
that.
wonder how much
Yeah.
these controllers are on eBay. Now I'm kind of like, I kind of want one of these Konami Hypershot controllers.
I mean, this is not Tony Hawk. You don't have a lot of time to really pull any sick
True.
moves.
$20. Is it worth $20 to get a
I meant to look at that thing.
Hypershot? The MSX version of the Hypershot is $150. So apparently it was rarer on the MSX.
Hey, you went off your head. Nice.
I don't know how this controller would work on. Apparently, it works with Hyper Olympic, which is track and field too, but that game had like fencing and like karate events where you had to like do more than just beat the shit out of the button. So I'm not really sure how that worked. Maybe it only worked for certain events.
I hit that bird.
Yeah, actually, playing track and field on the Atari 2600 was not beat the shit out of the buttons because there was only one. It was beat the shit out of your joystick. No pun intended. And so you would end up
That pun was
the pro move there was to hold the base of the joystick with one hand, like kind of sideways, and then go back and forth with your other hand. To get the fastest.
These old sports games were very hit or miss, I feel.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Tom Martin says, wow, I remember playing this game many moons ago. Is that my old buddy that I used to teach acting with in Milwaukee, Tom Martin, I wonder? It seems like it's a common name, so it could be.
I was going to say, that's not, yeah.
All right, we're going to try the skateboarding one more time.
Snarkcast claims Hyper Olympic was track and field. 1, 2 was called Hyper Sports.
Sport, okay, I couldn't remember which.
Tom Martin says yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, Tom?
There you go. What up, Tom?
Is there anything in that book on how to skateboard?
Okay, skateboarding. Or, as they would say, piste en you.
Sure.
Skateboards sur la piste en you.
I feel like I've been pieced on that.
The
sure.
U-shaped piste. Okay. Touch B to change the piste. C is again slowing down.
Okay, I won't push C.
Don't push C. At the height of the ramp.
You technically crashed, Eric.
It's because I stopped going, because apparently, as far as I can tell, nothing does anything.
And A is at the top of the ramp.
Yes.
To do the jump.
Okay.
Nope.
Is there a way to gain momentum or anything?
I think you just have to
tried
suck up
rocking
and go
up
back
and
and
down?
forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to what, back and forth?
You have to like go back and forth through the U to get up your momentum, I believe. Push left and right in.
Did you like hold left when you're going left and then hold right when you're going right? Maybe. Or do you just have to rock the D-pad up and down in this event as well, just like all?
Maybe. Yep, that's it. It's up and down. It's up and down. Counterintuitive is the name of the game. Turn too short. All right. At least we're doing something. Why? It feels like there's fucking load times in this game, even though it's on it. Am I crazy? Like I hit the button and I feel like I have to wait a beat and then I have to hit continue to keep going. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Who ported this? Was this a Sega in-house job? Now I'm curious. Nova Trade.
There's a lot of Eric's face on this half pipe, I just gotta say.
So, Eric, I will tell you that this port of California Games was handled by the same fine people who are behind one of my favorite games, Contra Legacy of War.
Okay, good. I didn't turn it all. Fuck you. I'm just hitting up and down to try and get some momentum.
You know what game I also liked? This is reminding me of kind of like that I feel like people. It's one that I did own, Kurt, to preempt your Stockholm Syndrome question. Skate or Die on the NES. I always kind of had a soft spot. The first one, not the second one. The second one.
All
sucked.
skateboarding games. Pretty much all skateboarding games sucked until Tony Hawk came out. Skate or Die is a different breed of thing, though.
What about 720?
Original arcade. If you're playing it in the arcade with a trackball, 720 is dope.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a trackball, fuck that game.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, exactly. Correct answer.
Snarkcast says Appaloosa Nova Trade did this. That's as bad as Pony Canyon doing the NES port of Winter Games. Yeah, I think the big problem is that Epyx only made like the C64 versions of these games. And
you guys want to see how the Game Gear version looks?
Yeah, why not? Go for it.
It can't be any worse, can it? Now I've jinxed it.
I will see if I got it. I might not have it.
Why was it decided to play this?
Because it's summer, man, and there's no
Okay.
version of summer games, and it was the first
Okay.
thing that popped in my head.
All right. In honor of the World Cup, we'll play a crappy sports game.
Yeah, I thought about a soccer. I actually did think about a soccer game, but I couldn't think of any. Like, I'm sure there are ones that people who play soccer games really like for the Genesis, but I don't know what they are. Like, I couldn't think of like, oh, everybody obviously loves,
Blah.
you
Whatever.
know,
Yeah.
World Cup '96 or whatever for the.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. That's very possible, but or World Cup '94.
Pele Mania.
But I think there was I believe Pele was the first athlete to have his name on a video game, and it was an Atari game, if I'm not mistaken. But I
Okay,
don't
this
remember.
is the Master System game. This looks a lot more like the
says,
NES.
I know the 7800 version of Winter Games was better, but I'm not sure who developed it. Probably was Man Development, who did one-on-one basketball and literal impossible mission.
Stay a while, stay forever.
Oh man, you get to pick a team in the Master System version.
Yeah, in the NES version you get that too. I don't know why that's taken out of the Genesis version. I think, you know, and most of these are real companies, right? All of them are, right? Most, if not all. That would cost like a lot of money now. I feel like to get like 9 real sponsor companies into a video game these days would be like pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Although Tony Hawk, I guess, had, I mean, obviously Birdhouse, but then there was like other real skate companies in Tony Hawk, 1, 2, 3.
He looks
all of them.
shorter.
Yeah, he's very short in this version.
His knee's broken. He can't stand all the way up.
Half pipe foot bag. Let's try out flying disc since this isn't in the Genesis version. Press button to start.
Oh yeah, how does the this is what I was saying.
It says
how does the Genesis
joystick
version have fewer events than the Master System and NES versions? Like what? By the same token, the Atari 2600
the
version
animation
Winter
is so much
Games,
better.
Oh,
than
look
the
at
other
this! Look at this! Yeah, but
the
I just threw
2600
frisbee
version
3 miles,
of
guys. Come on.
Winter Games has fewer or more events than the NES.
I mean, did you just drop it?
Okay, so there's a person at the other end there that I need to try
like,
and throw
yeah,
it to.
you control the person at the
I
other
finished
end.
first, motherfuckers.
Out of 1.
Shut
Arioka
up.
says,
Shut
hello.
up about that.
What's up?
Hello. Angle, not great.
It's like golf.
Hang
it's like
in
a golf game. You
There
have
we
to-
go.
you're
Fucking killed
yeah.
that one.
Trying to yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not feed bears.
I mean, those are words to live
Catch
by.
it. Why is she
Erica's
shaking
an
her head?
avid hiker.
Oh, that was good.
Oh. It feels like it's not registering my input on the speed thing sometimes. I'm not sure why.
Like how you just stood there and watched it go by.
There we go.
It's like,
There we go. I don't know if I'm supposed to do something for her to catch it or if
You are.
she's just there
You
to
can
mark
move
it.
her around.
Oh yeah, there we go. Whoop.
And like if you make, I think you get points if you more points if you make.
Over
like a
3,
diving
hang in
catch or
there.
something.
It'd be good if you failed the event if it got mauled by a bear.
Oh man, this wave looks way better in this version.
Who's responsible for this version?
I don't know.
Still,
This
Sega
version feels
16
kind of
dude.
better also.
Who is
Sega Retro.
responsible for this?
Sega internal did the Master System version,
There you go.
so that explains why it's
The
better
other-
than the Appaloosa.
The
The
other
wipeout
one, they
animation
couldn't.
is also better.
They didn't have enough skill to get it all in the cartridge. That's why.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said it during the Contra Marathon when I was punishing myself with Legacy of War, but some people apparently like Echo the Dolphin, which is Appaloosa's, kind of magnum opus. I never liked those games. I never got the appeal. I never had fun with them. I got instantly bored.
It's kind of relaxing to
Um,
play the Dreamcast version.
I mean, I don't know. I always found like
I didn't hate
Tetris or
it,
something
but-
like that more relaxing than something like that.
Tetris is very intense.
I mean, it can be, but if you're just like,
I don't know how
If
to.
it's
I
on,
still
like,
don't know how
the
to land,
slow-
but it feels quite a bit better. So
if it's slow and low on Tetris, like,
yeah, but who
You
plays
know,
that way?
well, if you're trying to like have
Yeah.
a Zen experience,
People who suck at Tetris.
no, man, I'm awesome at Tetris.
I played you against Tetris. I fucking whipped your ass in Tetris. I'm not awesome at Tetris.
I think you're embellishing a little bit.
I think you're misremembering what happened. I like that now it's just a hobo playing footbag.
You mean in the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Martin says you have to go in at the same angle you flew out on surfing.
Oh, okay. Thank
that
you.
does sound familiar. Yeah.
Doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I hit a bird.
Arioka says Genesis port looked better, but removed the flying disc event and the sponsorships. I don't think the wave looked better, but
Yeah, I actually think the wave in the Master System looks way better.
yeah. But other stuff does look better.
I think this version plays better also.
That would not surprise me. There should be a pogo stick event because of the way you're bouncing up and down like that.
What would the event be, though? It would just
people
be
in California do
bouncing
pogo.
That's true.
Yeah, see how many pogos you can do while people throw beach balls at you, because that's what they do in this game.
Because they're all fucking dicks.
Says he's right. Think of the water surface as a mirror. You land on the mirror and the angle you launched in. Yep.
It feels like things are just kind of like randomly disappearing from my ROM folder. I mean,
You have a ROM.
I mean, from my library of cartridges that I'm playing these games.
Yeah, right. I appreciate that you mute so that we don't hear the cartridges going in and out.
Yeah. Apparently, there's no Game Gear version of this game, which is kind of a bummer. I don't see one.
There is. It's just California Game.
Oh no, there's not.
No, there isn't. Yeah.
Just the one thing. It's flying disc, and that's all.
Well, that's a bummer.
They took it out of the Genesis and just made it a Game Gear game.
We played the NES one. Is there a Game Boy one? Game Boy Advance?
Let's see here.
It's on like everything else.
Right.
The Windows version that came out in 2009.
Amstrad, Apple II, Atari 2600, Atari ST, Commodore 64, DOS, Genesis, J2ME, which I think is
supposedly
mobile phone,
the NES one was
Lynx,
done by Rare.
MSX, NES. That makes sense. Master System, ZX Spectrum.
All right. Well, this game still sucks.
Genesis isn't very good.
Yeah, it's still a bad game.
Genesis is very bad.
That's too bad.
Unfortunately.
Maybe next week we'll get a good game for you. But so next up, am I playing Dreamcast games? Are we continuing the Sega love tonight, or are you guys gonna play Dying Light?
We're gonna play Tiny Toons.
Acme Sports
something or other. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Wacky Sports Challenge. Also
Sports
really loud. Holy shit. There we go. That's better.
Arioka says he thinks the SMS is probably the best port.
Seemed pretty good. It looks a lot more like the NES version, but
It plays well. That's what counts.
yeah, it felt better. The wave looked a lot nicer. There is no two-player. There we go.
So Summer Games was also on the Master System. World Games was also on the Master System.
Throw the ice cream.
California Games 2 was also on the Master System. Okay, California Games 2 was on the Super NES and the Master System, but not the Genesis. Figure that out.
I forgot to turn it on here. Anyways.
I was gonna say, I see the screen flashing on your face, but I don't see
Yeah, there's nothing on that.
any game in the window.
I'm fucking wrecking these fucking Tiny Toons characters. You'll take my word for it. Anyway, that's
All right.
California Games.
Nice.
Genesisn't, I guess, officially. We'll be back later with something else.